All right, guys. So this clinic is dedicated to learning how to chip better, and I would say unlike the full swing, chipping requires a lot of finesse. So, and even a soft touch too. I'm going to talk to you. I always like to teach in threes. I think anything more is just too much to think about. Honestly, one is not too bad either. But we're just going to talk about the most important things and setting up for a stock chip shot. So if you guys actually want to just come on the left side over here, I'll show you. So really important to understand. The very first thing, if there's one thing to remember about chipping, is that the club is always going to swing in the direction of where your weight is, right? What do I mean by that? So often people who try to chip, they try to chip and scoop the golf ball, but more importantly, they actually try to hang back on their back foot. And, like I said, the club's always going to swing in the direction of your foot. So if you actually have, say, 90 to 100% of your weight on your lead foot, you're naturally going to swing ahead. That's number one. So weight distribution, that's the most important thing in chipping. The second piece is ball position. If you want to hit the ball higher, like the full swing, you would move it up in your stance. And if you want to hit the ball lower, you would hit it back in your stance. Now, just for reference, this combines with the weight distribution aspect. Your nose should always be ahead of the golf ball when you're chipping, no matter what you do for a ball position. So if you'll notice, as I set up for the golf shot, my nose is ahead. I typically like to teach a more further ball position just to encourage more of a higher ball flight. And the last piece is very soft hands. Very soft hands. More oftentimes than not, especially teaching beginners, people who are inexperienced with chip shots, they tend to tense up in an effort to do whatever it takes to hit the golf ball. So when I make these practice swings, weight forward, soft hands, you notice that you'll hear a very slight clicking sound. It's not a dig. We're not trying to force it. We're trying to let the club glide. So just to show you, if I was just to go to any hole, most important thing, weight needs to be forward. I like to have a further ahead ball position to get the ball in the air. And the last piece is soft hands. But notice that, for such a delicate shot, I'm not just stopping after my swing. I'm actually turning through the same way I would with the full swing. So I'll watch you guys hit golf balls, and keep in mind, keeping your weight on your lead foot, almost to the point where you can be on one leg. Like that's how much weight you're talking about. And having very soft hands and making sure that when we make our practice swings, we glide through the grass instead of trying to dig. Yeah, so feel free to, hit some shots and we'll go from there. Here, let me help you with that. Yeah, that's how soft it should feel. So here, do this with your fingers really quick. Oh no, like literally, this is how lightly you grip it. Okay. Very, very light. And it's going to take time. It might be a little discouraging at first, but here, if you want to grab my wedge, hit some shots. Saucy. Oh, and Dante, mind if I just grab that club? Yeah, just to show it for the camera. So first of all, really good. You know what I mean? And, as I mentioned, if we're just talking about a regular stock chip shot, this is pretty solid. Remember, weights forward. Now, you could play with ball position. I typically like to keep it ahead. Right? Now, if you want to play with it, you can open the face, close the face, you can do all kinds of things. But say if I wanted to open the face, that looks pretty marginal. It looks like it's aiming right. you trust it, it'll just go higher.
Thank you.